All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another Wildwitch RP live play TTRPG session. What is Wildwitch RP? Well, Wildwitch RP is a couple who love sharing stories. So much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. It is consisted of Faye and Lachlan. I am, of course, Faye. But tonight we're playing Starfinder. We're playing Homeward. I will leave Sekrain to give all the details to that. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you to, of course, our awesome players and Game Master here. We also have Sirenscape, who's joining us at the table, providing all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. Foundry does our dice rolling and our map, and then our lovely character art is from the works of Ansorge Digital on Instagram. But that is all that I have, so I'm going to toss this over to Sekrain.
Hello, and welcome to Homeward. This actual live, actual live play live stream of Starfinder. And well, let's jump right into the story where we left. Last time, when we played, our group of what was the word that you guys used? What was the word used for the group?
Idiots?
Yes, but no.
Scoundrels? Hooligans?
Scoundrels.
Okay.
You know, our main squad, our main characters.
Dipshits?
Had
Chucklefox?
no Chucklefox is for another one.
Was it
That's
the
for
other
another
way you'd say
group.
that word?
I do not remember it, but they have been helping the Dralark on their way back to the Pack Worlds, and on their way back home. And in number one of the few stops they did, they clear out and put back to operations a small mining outpost where Dralark has stationed outside as they are gaining some resources and repairing some of the damage that still was present in the ship, and getting some of the ship back online. And during this time, they had been one of them, Kasinkara, had been assigned as a captain and currently is functioning as the captain of the ship. Meanwhile, the rest have been, doing some preparations for some new gear, checking some situations inside the ship, and among those things, Amos was checking some use of their jetpack recently made by them. And in some testing for combat, they were training a bit with one of the first officer of the Skyfire Legion detachment, assigning the ship, and with Kreltwan. And in that moment, they had an unfortunate memory of things that had happened in their past, as they're recovering the memory of who they work with and what was the situation on that ship with the pirates of the Burdened Sun. In the meantime, S and Melodious MacPherson have been exploring a bit of what seemed to be memories, feelings related to another. S also discovering some situations that probably led them to the Dralark, and Melodious feeling for moments call from something beyond, getting at times mixed signals kind of thing, and also feeling their connection to reality at moments. It's doubtful. But taking on that day inside the ship, you left from Melodious' room. You're heading back to your quarters with the memory of some gear.
Yeah.
I saw that in the chat. With some memory of some possible gear that you remember you had with you, and memories of someone you probably interacted with at some point in the past. You're walking through the different hallways, taking the elevators to go down from the quarters of the bridge officers into the main, crew quarters. Passing some people here and there. At moments when you turn around the corner and you see maybe a couple of legionnaires moving around, you kind of evade those hallways and take different routes, having them memorize the map and even integrate it into your systems, the map of the ship, of the Dralark. You arrive to your quarters, open the door, and as you enter and lock it behind you, you're once again in this place that has sort of become... I don't know if I would call it your home though, because you don't stay here often. You stay anywhere where you were working and pass out over there. But you do see you're in one side, not directly in direct view when you open the door, like kind of hidden in a corner. The setup you have placed in your room for getting into the systems of the ship. And just for a moment thinking where this gear and this information related to this memory might be.
At this point, I would know most of my little, like, hidey spots, right? I've found a lot of them in the room. Like,
you have found you have found a lot of them, and you have found like munitions, credits, some extra things that seem like pieces of gear for hacking and things like that. Even a kit for what seems to be a mix of both hacking and cleanup situations. But for particular this one, it's like there's just a feeling that this would have been something that you would have brought with you. It's not something you're left somewhere, so it's just looking around.
all right. Would that be a investigation?
It can be if you want to go for an investigation, it can be. You tell me what approach you're going for this. I think there's multiple ways that you could try to look for it. There's no investigation in this also. Just friendly reminder, there's no investigation. There's perception. But if you have any other ideas of what you could use to find this, you're welcome to tell me and try.
Let me look at what I've got. Could I? I would like to, I think... Would a sense motive, like, be equivalent to, like, where would I have put this to keep it the most safe? Like, kind of doing an insight check on myself.
You're vibing yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure,
okay,
sure.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I'll put it the way that I want it to put. I have no shame.
You know what?
Let my server take that and run.
They definitely will.
It's 21.
21. Okay. So you're thinking about it, and as you're beginning making your way to the different hidey sections, you're just thinking, okay, some of those were in obvious places. Not obvious places that it would be like immediately seen, but in places that, because they're just so right in your face, it's probable that people would not look there. And you're thinking, okay, some of those spots I checked them, and there's not much space to hide more into it. And you're thinking about it, and just for a moment think, what is the thing that you have the most control in here? And for a moment, just look into your computer, and you have like a sense that if you would hide something even further down, either if it's digital or you may have tied it to your own, your computer and everything. That is something you're so familiar that even if someone would check it, they will not find it because you have put some sort of security tied to that. You get like that vibe out of it.
Hmm. Would I have... Going over to Essie's computer.
Mhm.
Would I be able to check for... Because I remember that I was here on a job. I was doing something, and I remember kind of little bits that might have been related to that. Can I check to see if I've kept some sort of log of areas that I frequented?
You can check in the log in your computer, and you have already accessed like the first layer, and you discover in your computer that there's multiple layers of security. Some of these layers you already have figured how to break them, and you found that there's other layers that are just very ahead, and you're taking your time to just carefully crack them. And as you get in, you open it, get access to the first section, and thinking about the part of the logs and sections, you for a moment think similar to the parts of the sensors that Addie has, of like look that helps it locate people. You're thinking maybe there's something to that. And as you begin moving and entering some sections that you have more or less recently get access, but you just, because of the names and the way they're set up, you're like, what is this? You're not sure how to piece it out and open it. You begin piecing it out. Again, taking your time on this. You're not. I'm assuming I'm taking this as if you were like taking a 10 or a 20 on your check, because you're just
I'm very
taking it
good.
slowly.
Yeah, I've got nowhere to be immediately, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. And as you do so, you open some of the locks and found that you have access to other systems beyond just records that should not be accessed through just simple quarters, simple crew quarters. And you do find some logs referring to places and things, and it's like sort of like caches situation. And among that, you find at some point like access codes to the not codes, but like like toggling on and off some security, like some safes or some like locks. And among those you find two that are located in your quarters. Along with that, you also find, very similar to what you were looking for, that you seem to be able to tap into some of the sensors, inside sensors of the ship itself. And among that, there's logs of different, like there's different sections of logs dedicated to different people.
Cool. I would like to, those two caches that are located inside my room, I'd like to unlock those.
Okay. As you press on that, you basically press on the screen on that. Wait for a moment to hear if you to wait for any sound of something unlocking or anything. And doesn't come. Then you press the other one, and this time you hear the sound, but it's not like a physical lock. You hear it from the console that it's like, communications and inside controls of the room. You hear like a beep sound out of that one.
Cool. I'll go over to take a look at what's going on over there.
You go over there and see that the best way to put it is that it seems to be that you have access some sort of like incognito mode. Like you have open Chrome on incognito in that thing, and you see that there's some options of the computers themselves, of records and things like that weren't there before. In particular, some of those of like access to systems that, again, you shouldn't be allowed to. But another section mentions specifically a pressure plate that has been activated.
Cool. I would like to get more information, what I can, from that.
Yeah, as you see about that one, it seems to be located in the section of the bathroom. It seems to be, at this moment, it mentioned it is visible.
Cool. I will head...
But there's quotations and the visible, but you also see information in it of like visible and then unlock, an unlock option.
I'm unlocking it.
This time you do hear like sound.
Okay.
And when you go to the bathroom, on one of the panels that seems to be related to the control, like below the controls of the water thing, like different environmental controls for inside the bathroom, you see how a panel that before was there, it was there, it has like slide down, and when you get to it and you gently push your hand, it pops out and opens, like literally opens as like a small cabinet kind of thing, which before you've been a couple of times in the bathroom, you did not notice any like the space, the gap in between for the things to move. It seemed to be that there was some sort of hologram illusion or something to just pass it.
God, I'm smart.
And inside there's what you see, the very familiar security box.
Hell yeah. Well, I know what I'm doing with my afternoon.
When you pull out the box, you see, like at that moment you pull it out, and in a way the memory you had is like, oh, you check the lock in it, and as you put your fingers to start typing the code, it immediately unlocks. Like just putting a fingerprint in there is like, you see a slight scan that's like glow, like almost how to say it, like in a sneaky way, and you get an idea that if someone else would have put, even if they know the code, probably this thing would have locked.
Yeah, hell yeah. Opening it up, is it how I remembered it before in the dream or in the memory?
You see it, and it is again this kind of like veil, like almost like a that can be put on, almost like bodysuit that you just put on top of clothes or below clothes. It is very transparent. There's sections that you see like small, I won't call it like gems, but a small round sections that connect this net, this veil across, and you pull it out, and indeed it seems identical to that. If even at this moment it feels more physical and alive than in that loose memory. Along with that, as you pull it out, and even before you pull it out, because how transparent it looks, you see that below there's some what seem to be the equivalent of a USB, like some storage devices just put there.
We know that Ez can't resist that. Gonna take that and see what's on it.
You go and move it, and when you sit down and put it in your computer, it loads some files that are not locked, and in there you find what seem to be instructions for connecting with a specific comm signal. Roll me. This is an interesting roll. You have culture, right? Yeah, you have culture.
Yeah.
Roll me culture, because I think in terms of computers you can figure something out of this, but it is connecting the cultural knowledge with your computer knowledge.
31.
Jesus. Okay. As you're looking at it, you're like, oh, this is not a normal encryption. This is a higher level of encryption of communications. You could probably, and you realize some of this. Two things. As you're looking at it, this is not some. It's not that you will memorize this. It is that some of these instructions have to be very specific. And without these extra instructions, whatever you're trying to connect with wouldn't work, as it might be changing. Like some of the coding here is like, oh, this is code that relates to systems that update, change, move. And these are instructions that would allow you to figure out. It might sound weird, but similar to how I don't know if you guys have seen videos or play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
I've played it yet.
That it has this manual of if it has 4 cables, 2 reds, 1 blue, 1 yellow, you have to cut the third cable. That kind of very specific instructions. But some of this you'll be like, it's better to have this at hand. And as you're looking at that, you're like, oh, this is military grade. Some of these things, some of this coding is more of a military grade. And as you just sit down and you're begin trying to connect to it from here, there's a point that clicks on you in an, I would call it uncomfortable way, that whatever this connection would take you, it would be to someone on not only military grade, but some of this encryption seems familiar to Vesk military. And the more you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out, you're like, nah, this is not just like you're just military. This is something more specialized. But it is definitely of Vesk architecture, so to speak. Like different systems have different kind of architectures. And this one in particular, the architecture is very much similar to Vesk systems, but some of these are just way above what a civilian or even just normal military would be.
You speak Vesk?
I do.
Oh, good.
Almost like
but
I speak a lot of things for a reason.
yeah, but you know, in a way, this is more like I won't call it binary, but it's like
It's understanding their approach to technology and coding, which
yeah,
is different than their actual language. But I know their language for reasons.
yeah, and it's like you know knowing the difference of trying to code between. God damn it! Here comes my IT recruiter background. It is different from trying to code on Java, on .NET, on things like that. Even between cloud systems, it won't be the same trying to do stuff. Even if they're just cloud systems that have the same base, it's not the same type of tools on a cloud system made in America than a cloud system made in China or things like that. And you're identifying this as the cultural little things of this is very much identified with that.
Oh, I'm gonna hold on to that information.
At some point, you lost me to the nerd speak, but I'm just gonna pretend like I knew what it was.
Look, I've got the notes that I need.
I can clarify whenever it is needed.
But yeah, no. If I've got the veil, and now I've got some other information. I think S is just going to focus on his projects until he is potentially needed, or until something interesting happens, whichever comes
Okay,
first.
What would be kind of the projects that
More
S has in mind?
more diving into his own computer. He wants to get to that lost information.
Okay.
And investigating some of those caches that he found the locations of.
Okay. So just a quick note, seeing of the other caches. It's not like you have 30. You're not turning yourself into like find the weird collectibles across the whole Dralark.
No, I don't
but you
expect it
see-
as a lot. Yeah.
No, you see there are one. It is near what in your memory. You connect the information and you have a. I mean, you don't even need to connect information. You can access directly. Like you have your shortcut to the Dralark map inside your computer. You see, one is near what seems to be an airlock. Another one, it's near what seems to be the area of the not barracks, sorry, the not jail. What's it called? The brig. The brig. There's
Yeah, the
another
brig.
one near the an area that just by nature of what you've been working, you identify near the communication section. And that's about it. In the information of your logs, there's no further indication of what they are. It just there's an option on that to connect to your own mobile systems, but it does not tell it. There's this in here. It seems to be that you were, again, if someone would crack into here, you're trying to keep some of that information away so they don't like.
Yeah. And I do have that secondary data pad, if I remember correctly, the one that I found that was hidden.
Mhm.
I'd like to grab that. I'm assuming that I keep that hidden most days because I don't need it, but I'd like to have that on hand as I go to these different cache locations. And I don't necessarily want to try and open them, just want to kind of put eyes on them.
Yeah, you do that. You grab that one, and realize that through that one, with all the cracking you have done, you are able to connect to your computer and adjust it so you have kind of that remote access. But you see there's cycling secure in it, so you could, if you don't have it for a while, it would immediately lock back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. In the meantime, Melodious, What you up to?
What a fascinating question. What am I up to?
What are you up to? Whoa, just punch my microphone. I'm sorry.
I suppose I should show my face in the science and arcane division, make sure everyone's projects are going all right.
Okay.
Check on our water, make sure the water system is working. We have adequate stores there.
Yeah. I saw the chat. Yeah.
Don't look at the chat.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
It's something that I've learned. Don't look at the chat.
So, no, as you're moving out, like a good old person, good old good old girl boss. You are walking out with your data pad and immediately sending messages to see how things are going because it's the arcane and science division is like from the crew quarters going kind of down, but for the water section would be like moving up to the center. So going directly to one will lock you there, and then you have to do a long route. So you just send the information over there, and because you are a bridge officer, they get back to you quick in terms of information, and they're like, one of the engineers just mentioning that water supply is working well now that it has been fixed, and they have brought enough of that ice. They have filled it up a bit above the half of it, and they are talking with the science and arcane division to get some of the through transmutation devices they have to be able to kind of replicate in a way the extra ice they have to start filling up a bit more, but they need to repair those systems, so they're just trying to keep that extra ice ready just to be able to replicate that. It's not like they can just replicate out of nowhere. They're gonna try to use that to get a bit more and then get a bit more, and then they would have out, but at least have that. And as you are going to the science arcade division, you are received with different scientists and I wouldn't call them wizards. People of the different areas that work here. Astrophysics, other people that, at the moment, just by looking at the resumes and the position, you assume they're also sort of mystics, technomancers, people that mix the different areas, engineers, more on the specialized sciences rather than just robotics engineer kind of thing. And as you get in there, some are like approaching you and trying to get to talk to you about a bit of if they would be allowed to get access to, approval of some project, or approval on receiving part of the resources getting back onto the ship to, greenlit the project a bit ahead than the rest of the things in the ship. The people trying to get in your favor, sort of. And some of them, you realize that, this person wants to get some of the extra transmutation devices for food working out, so that could be good. But some other people is like, we want to get some communication would enhance arcane communication. And some are like, I want my pet project for getting some weird shenanigans working in both technology and science. So you're receiving a lot of these requests as you're moving through. You don't see immediately Eluria around.
That's not too bad. That's, don't mind that. A question for you, Sakurin. Something
Yeah.
that's just occurred to me. We have psychics, right? We have people who specialize in brain magic, right? I would assume.
So as far as my understanding in
for this
terms of the
stuff.
magic and stuff in Starfinder, based on the part of the classes, based on the knowledge and stuff, uh, psychic stuff has been not shoved, but it's part of the mystical sciences. As long it would be like you have evocation, transmutation, necromancy, divination, psychic abilities. Like it is part of the kind of schools, and in a way, you as someone that has the familiarity with arcane, you realize some of your psychic abilities are either tied, adjacent, or come from the arcane too. So there's people that indeed would have this sort of knowledge.
Is anyone using that to try to recover memories? Like reading someone's, I don't, if you dig into someone's little brain to see what's in there, would you be able to use magic to discover something that they don't remember, but that definitely
I wasn't
happened?
gonna like where this went.
See, that's one little scientific thought I'm thinking on. The other is we should probably run a soil analysis on the compost that came out of the biocomposter after we put all the dead guys in there. Because I know we didn't biocompost the zombies, but
I like the dead people compost idea more than brain scans. Just saying something.
Right. For this, I'm gonna require 2 rolls from you.
yeah.
One will be for mysticism, for the part of the brain reading, and let's handle that one first. That's not the hand. Yeah, one would be mysticism, and the other one would be life science. But let's handle the mysticism first, because it will be to that roll. If you can add a +2, because it is not all. It is a mix of your own knowledge along with the knowledge of the rest of the team. You're not working alone in this. 19. Okay. As you are checking with different people, and you get into the files, begin asking, and also send like a couple of notifications to like Addy to help you profile the type of people that you're looking for. You find that actually some of the people of the counselor team do have some psychic abilities, kind of like empaths, more rather than your psyker kind of thing, and that they along with a team of other more mental aligned individuals, some of them being like Lashunta, Shirin, races that inherit psychic nature, are have been sort of working through, and they have indeed filed some reports that Eluria has received. Like there is the record of this information, and the more detailed info of it has been filed to science officer Eluria.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the other part, it's a life science role, and again, this is working along with the team over there, so add a +2 circumstance bonus, which also would be working with Pluquar and all of those guys. Okay, 23. As you send this information, you're like, hey, can you do like analysis? What kind of? Oh, you cut. I saw you moving and speaking, but I didn't hear anything.
Oh, sorry. I said, how does Pluquar like the body dirt? Does he like it? Is it working out good for him? Is it good for him? Does he like that?
So what is the approach? Oh gosh.
How does Pluquar
What?
like the body?
What is the approach in this? Like, what were you trying to identify in the dirt?
Zachary, I want to run an 8260 soil analysis for Michigan 10 metals and PNAs. No.
I need you
I
to speak
would
to
like
me in
to-
English. In common English.
I want to run just a basic chemical analysis of the soil, like nothing, everything mundane, nothing arcane on this. See if it's pH and it's pH
See if it's
and
good
chemical
dirt.
makeup are what I'm expecting. Yeah, see if there's the appropriate amount of organic matter in there, because what I'm huh. I'm wondering if there's any chance that we find just big chunks of the calcified type guys. That's like
Oh.
like my hand is.
Okay.
Oh, more black spots. Got it.
More black spots. I want to see if that happens. And like the soil thing is something Nell has probably been thinking of for a while. Like, oh, well, when I get around to it, I should probably see if the dirt is all, up to spec. The brain and the memories occurred to him as he walked through the door today.
Okay.
Wait a second,
Okay.
we have magic.
We have the technology. We have magic.
Honestly,
Um,
I'd like to run a magic scan on the dirt.
So yeah, you send this information and you're receiving it to, connecting that to the systems, and with the help of Addie, just being like a conscious being helping transfer information, you're receiving it even quicker. And at some point, you even have like this kind of video call with Pluckor, which is weird. It's fucking weird because
Good.
at some point, it's like you just see Pluckor staring at the screen before you see like the glowy psychic or spore thing just churning. You don't hear nothing, and someone arrives and is like, yes, we didn't thought of this. Pluckor says that he's sorry. He was transmitting his thoughts into the computer and realized that that's not how the communication this works. And from there, you just have someone translating the whole fucking time.
Oh,
It just occurred to me that Pluckor would have a hard time with video calls because he is transmitting his thoughts. So there's that point of like all the three of you guys just thinking,
Why not tie?
like literally being like, oh, we need to solve this situation. How did we solve this before? How did we do it before? Hold on. AK, the DM just realizes the thing that does not speak physically, how it's going to communicate throughout the ship. Like, how does that work?
I give it a keyboard.
I'm gonna need to think about this.
sign language.
It's sign language keyboard.
Yeah, but what about like the communicators? Like, to press the communicator. Press the communicator. You know, no word. I'd be like, Blackor, please pass your communicator to the nearest person with a mouth.
Inside of every communicator, there is a very small fish, and you just
That's true.
if you are a creature that communicates telepathically, you just have to think your thoughts very hard to the fish. Then the fish will speak them into the communicator. It's a parrotfish.
I bet old Melodius actually convinced Pluquar of this.
Oh.
Gaslighting Pluquar into thinking he's just not thinking to the fish loudly enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel.
I mean, if all else fails, I can just go find Pluquar and talk to him in person.
It gets to the point that you're figuring out how to transmit some of the information. But yeah, there's just a thing like Addie makes a note of passing this information to the science team and the engineering to see if someone knows how this worked before. Which Pluckor didn't have much of an issue before, just because people were going over there. But as you're checking about this with a 21 and working along with the team, they do find pieces of what would be the elements of bone, but none of them, like breaking down into the core. You see like whatever the chemical components of calcium might be, which I do not know at the moment. I don't think calcium is an element per se.
It
Calcium.
is.
It is okay. Never mind. There's calcium, but as they're looking at that,
Just send you a periodic table.
I don't remember the periodic table very well. That's not. Either way, it gets to a point that you're looking into this, and there's kind of a confused look, both, well, from the human working, because Blackroy says that there's no expression. But he transmits that Blackroy also feels a bit confused. And as they send you again the information and you're checking it and running some extra analysis on that, you see that some of the dirt has a small, faint essence of just the tiniest part of necromancy in it. That wasn't in it. They, no one checked before. They were just, if you were not become zombie, you're still a body. We put it there, but now they're checking and they're realizing this like a small essence covering all of it. It is not changing the rest of the elements. They're elements that would be turning into the rest of the, the more biological, the more. Oh, there's a specific word for this. The specific biology term for this, but I do not remember it. Organic. Yeah, the organic materials don't seem to be decomposing faster or something like that. But there's just the detection of like, oh, there's this. And at least at this very moment, there's nothing going quicker in the decomposition. But they are like now mentioning like, oh, we're going to be doing more checks in on this to see what are the effects at long term. At short and long term, just because this is not something we had detected before.
Interesting. Glad I checked. I'm thinking, I wish we had put a tracking device on one of the zombies that we yeeted out of the airlock. Because I know they were all dead, but it suddenly occurs to me, what if they're just following us through space or something? I don't know.
Well,
It's probably nothing.
we did go through a hyper jump, so who
True.
knows?
True.
Multiple times you have done that. And remember, when you jump, you're basically jumping into another dimension and then returning out. So the distance that you have recovered is long. Like you have gone through a couple of multiple weeks of travel in this way. So
I know that one of those hyper jumps was an extra one because of my dumbassery.
Someone
I
hit
thought
the
that I didn't
brake,
get
the
blamed for
handbrake.
all of them.
But yeah, just putting that note out there is that even if they were following us, they'd be doing it very slowly.
Crawling through space. Okay. I'm just thinking my silly little science thoughts. If in the process of hearing people's pitches for projects they want to undergo, Null will approve the ones that he thinks would be beneficial towards either expediting our travel to Absalom Station, preserving the somewhat limited resources we have on the ship, or anything necromancy based now, because we've known that's sort of been a thing. And then the last item would be the memory stuff. He has a particular memory of his own that he wants to dig into. If he can get a conference with someone who can worm their way into his tight little mind.
Okay, you do know that Illyria has received reports about that progress. So that project at some point has been already a bit in the work. But you would need to talk with her about that. For the rest of it, I would say there's the projects related to trying to go faster are kind of a mix between the science team, the science and arcane team, and the engineering team. So there's a big project kind of located to that, and it's focused in two sections. One, fixing the sensors to see if that would help detect the signal of Absalom Station, which, again, reminder, it is kind of weak, and it's not being able to just anchor into it and just in an instant get into to Absalom Station. And another part of it is checking if it is the Rift engine that is causing issues. So there's a lot of teams working on that, and you begin checking on the different teams, like extra projects, extra ideas. You begin green lighting them. And in terms of necromancy, there's not that many people interested in the part of necromancy. The ones that are interested are the first one. It is one that wants to check the calcified body to see if there could be a way to replicate the firmness and the protection that it provides, like study to a more in-depth way to maybe apply that on something. They don't, in the pitch, in their thesis of this project, they're saying that the possibility of using this whole ship-wide would require an enormous amount of material, probably biological, and that probably would not be ethical. But they think they could find a way to replicate that same durability for smaller ways, either gear, protection, things like that. That's the first one related to necromancy. Second related to necromancy is someone that's on the process of discovering who they are, they found out they have what seem to be undead organs. And they're working fine, but they want to study that in terms of seeing where they come from. In their pitch, the thesis, they say that they believe, just because of their cultural reading, that this might come from Eox, which is a planet known by necromancy things. They specify. They don't enter into more details, but they're saying if they could check this, approve a more in-depth, and even send themselves to the medical facilities to be studied and have extra resources to see if that could be of use for someone inside the ship. If someone has a heart attack or replacement of limbs, things like that, be what if we just use necromancy to things,
What if we did just use necromancy to things? You're so right. Well, he's gonna greenlight that one, and if he gets the chance, he'd like to talk to that person. I too have undead organs, all of them.
Well, as interesting as undead organs,
bad idea.
As interesting as undead organs are, and as interesting as Eoxers, for reasons, we do have to take a break here. Our ad break is coming up, so please hang out with us. Let the ads run. They're important to us at Wildwitch RP. If you want to directly support us, you can always do so through my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen and in our chat room. These donations unlock awesome perks for the entire community that benefit everyone who play with us for the next month, including special companions, double treasure, double XP, new quests, all these fun things. Full list available on our Discord, so check us out there. But we will be back here very soon. And we're in.
Oh, I'm the one doing the thing. I
You're
had the
the
idea that you were.
No, you're our game master.
No,
We're back.
I got,
Don't worry, guys, we're
in my-
professionals.
in my mind, I was like, Faye's the one that does like, and we're back after the commercials, and then I take it again, but no, it
No,
is I.
It's just you.
Don't worry,
Um,
we got this. We know what we're doing.
my bad. Sorry, needed to cough.
How dare you?
So, continuing, just checking on a different, on our different, checking up with the different characters. We're gonna move across the hallways, but instead of down to the training and armor area, we're gonna go to the infirmary, the nearest infirmary, where there is Krotwan just gently pacing left and right, while one of the nurses there, this Amos, I want to ask you something. After what you've been seeing and still feeling a bit real after the shock and a bit of that like physical hesitation of being contacted, touched by anyone, even for checking. What would have been Amos' reaction at seeing that the nurse that is arriving, it's the equivalent of a bipedal walking bear?
I'm gonna need that one more time, Sekran.
Alright.
Because I don't think Sky understood what you just said.
Alright. Imagine a bear walking on their hind legs, like straight up walking,
Yeah,
arrives,
I'm
and
there.
it has the uniform of the medical team of the Dralark. And that's the one that arrived to the armory to check on Amos.
I'm gonna be honest. My initial reaction as a person is, oh god, a bear. Which I feel is reasonable. Amos, however, probably doesn't have an initial reaction other than, he's coming out of this memory and he's still sort of in fight or flight. So we're gonna go with, I'm gonna roll a d4 and let's find out what our fear response is.
I want you to
I-
fight the nurse. That's
Oh,
my
we're
vote.
gonna find out! Let's roll a
Try
d4
to punch
and
the
see if I
bear.
fight the nurse.
Turns into that scene from The Revenant.
Honest? Maybe.
Try to fight
Let's
the
roll
bear. What is
Roll
this?
I roll an
leather
actual
bar?
a d4 in my hand.
I don't get
Because the
jokes,
game's
right?
paused, and I can't do anything. So, fight, flight, fear, fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. That's our order.
I take it back. I want you to fall in love with the bear.
So we got freeze. That's a 4, so it's freeze. I now have a
Alright.
fear dice. Which I
Alright.
feel is reasonable now.
Yeah, so
Smack has tried to fight and flee things before.
yeah, as this individual arrives, you hear rumbling sound of where we need it, and this individual arrives.
Oh
and
god!
the rumbling, the sound,
It's
the
a
voice sound
deep-voiced
like
bear!
it turns, and you see how it arrives, and there's a couple of reactions from the people. Like just people looking at you and the situation, because you have drawn some attention, obviously, because people were already watching you fight. And there's just some people of like, just that head whipping to look at the nurse entering. and as they lean and begin making questions like, what is your name? what are you, like, how are you feeling? You know, like that's kind of questions that people do to know your
Yeah.
personal information, but also trying to bring you back to the present. And after realizing that you're not flinching, but just not moving at all, as they like move the large, bare hand to check on you. They at some point like check if they can move you, and they just like bring you. You know, they carry you. So you're just like,
It's a bear. I'm 6'5". That makes sense. It's a bear.
yeah. So they just take you. They take you eventually to the infirmary, and they're checking you there. Girl One is there. There's a bit of a concerned and guilty expression, you know, on this dragon king individual, fully armored, that's just pacing while the bear is checking on you. Definitely, you know, you have been injured, you are bruised, but it's not like any lethal stuff. Um, hey, Amos, right? That's your name? That's your name?
It was the bear talking. I was about to be like,
It's-
Charlton, you know my name.
No, sorry, I did a weird mix of the voices. I cross cables,
like,
I
hold
cross
on.
beams.
Don't cross the beams unless we find
Yep,
Stay
so-
Puft Marshmallow Man.
So, hold on, let me rephrase that. Amos, sorry, that's your name?
I think I love this bear's voice.
I do
And I
not know
never
what you're
wanted
talking
to
about.
change. Yes.
Or-
Yeah.
or
Amos
do
is
you- do
staring
you have-
directly at the ears, by the way.
You're looking at the ears? Okay.
Look, friend-shaped ears, just like
Yeah,
we all
it's-
do.
It's just like, you know,
They're
circle.
it's friend-shaped.
They just look at you and say, do you have someone that you would like to contact? Do you need help from someone in particular that we could contact from the ship? Or would you prefer just to stay here for a bit? We can still check on you.
I don't know. I don't think I have anyone on the ship, really.
Right.
I can probably go back to my quarters and stay there.
Alright, can you make your way to the quarters, or do you want one of the nurses to accompany you, or, I mean, Krillton over there, Commander Krillton can accompany you too, or would you prefer not to? The voice, right?
I'm flashing back to a conversation in DM. It was like 3 weeks ago. No, I can make it, but if Krolthwan wishes to escort me, he can. I doubt he'll take my no for an answer.
See the bear turns to look at Krillton, and there's that situation of two large creatures looking at each other. And just looks
A
back at you.
dragon and a bear walk into a bar. Dragon and a bear walk into a med station.
Well, I think the commander could accept a no if that's your wish. If you're feeling fine to move around.
I am physically okay.
Understood. Yeah, your vital signs are alright. It's just you had a bit of an anxiety attack. I think something else happened. Honestly, I could also schedule a meeting for the counseling team with you if you so wish. Or you can do that on your own time, I understand. but feel free.
I looked at the chat.
Feel free to just.
I'm back. I'm back together. I'm sorry.
Bad chat. Bad chat. Alright.
I'm gonna cry. I love you both so much. Alright. I don't know if I want to talk to anybody about what happened. For now, I'm okay.
I understand. Right. Just feel free. We have people here in the ship that can help everyone. Don't worry about it. Just take your
Thank you.
time. And if anything, you can also contact Adi. Adi has been helping the medical team for any emergency. They're available. Right, Adi? Yes, sir! You hear the disembodied voice of Adi echoing in the nurse, in this infirmary section.
Thanks,
Either
Addie.
way, you should go then to your quarters, take a rest for the day, and maybe for the moment do not use that jetpack. Just keep yourself on the ground.
That was the plan.
He pats you on the shoulder. The hand just like punk gently, and just turns around to Kreltron, just nods to him. And Kreltron just like stays there looking at you.
Yeah. Yes, Kreltwan.
Would you care if I accompany you to rest, or you can go on your own? Like, I'll ask if you don't want to. I understand. I think I may have been a bit rough. Sorry.
Not your fault.
Well, whatever I can do to help, just one call away. As
Like, to
um,
escort me. That's fine.
it's just your choice. If you don't want to see my face, I understand it.
It has nothing to do with you.
All right, then. If you don't mind, I'll not escort you. I'm not escorting you. I'm just accompanying you halfway through.
Alright. Amos is gonna get up and start making his way towards his quarters in the company of Quelthwan.
Yeah. You begin making your way to the
Making our way
quarters, and it is just silence. No talking, no interaction, just uncomfortable silence as he's just walking next to you.
It's awkward.
It's awkward. And there's a point that you reach, and he just says, "Well, up to here I accompany you halfway, so you can be on your way if you require anything. I mean, you know the captain. You have your other guys. We are here.
If I need you,
I know you. Sorry, you were saying.
If I need something, Quelthwan, I'll ask.
Okay, just point out. I know that you and Megan kind of don't get along too
Not exactly.
much, but I don't have a problem with you. We shouldn't have a problem. I mean, something happened in the past, sure, but I mean, we are here. Everything good.
We're
I
here
suppose.
now,
Clean
and-
slate.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't let what happened in the past color what I think of Megan, and I wish Megan would see it the same way that I'm not the same person.
Got a quick AFK.
Could I have 5
cool.
minutes?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a quick break. So. All right, technical break done. We're back, and there was a bear, and now there's not a bear. Now there's a dragon.
Oh, right, we're in the awkward hallway.
Yep.
Yeah. At this
I forgot it
moment,
was the awkward hallway.
it's like there's just that part of Krilto and apologizing to Amos about Megan's attitude and
Yeah.
well,
I wish Megan would realize that I'm not the same person as I was before. The forgetting, I guess, is what we're calling it.
well, yeah, they're forgetting him.
By the way, so question: are you and Megan like a thing?
What do you mean we're a thing?
Like
we're...
a thing, like together kind of a thing. Amos is trying to ask if they're dating without asking if they're dating.
Did you say that part? I'm trying to ask if you're dating without asking you're dating. Was
Yeah.
that out loud? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's being saying like, well, I'm the legatus, and he's a centurion of the. And he just remains various seconds, mouth agape, hearing the part of the like. Oh, that together. No.
No. Okay.
I'm not his type. Their type. I mean, we're cool. I'm the first officer. I am the commanding officer of the Starfinder detachment. He's my second in command. It would be absolutely
like
non-professional.
Yeah,
it would be non-professional, and we're not that. I mean, we're close. We are very close because our connection that we established while we were. We began our career with the Legion, with the Skyfire Legion. We've been there years together.
So you're like best buddies.
Yeah.
If that's
best buddies.
applicable.
We have
like
fought
more?
many times alongside, but
it's just like a brotherly bond in a way. Nope,
yeah,
maybe not that. Hold on.
He's my brother in arms. He's not. We're not dating. We are not dating. We're not dating. He turns around and walks away.
All right. Bye.
You hear before the steps were like like soft thuds because of his weight. You hear thud, 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 thud.
Beck really does just turn like the same color as his hair. then just kind of like, pull his coat up to like hide himself, and then just go.
I want to emphasize the part of it in the book. It mentions the connection,
Yeah.
the psychic connection made between a dragon king and another person. It is pressed to be intimate, but not in that sort. But imagine waking up with no memory and then seeing this person and feeling a very intimate connection. And then being questioned about like, are you dating? And I just like, no, I'm not dating. I just have a very deep,
Yeah.
intimate mental connection where I can see the thoughts of the other person.
Which has got to be awkward sometimes.
Oh yeah, but you know, he had never thought of the whole situation like that. Now he's thinking about it.
Now he's thinking about it. That, as pink as his hair, Max gonna go to his room, be like, okay, that's enough things, emotions, stuff today. We're done. I'm gonna drink and be sad until somebody needs me.
You head to your room, open it up, and as you close it, you hear a beeping from your computer. It's a different beep that you had heard many times, but the times you have heard is like the notification of a message.
So this isn't a message; it's a different beep.
No, this is the notification of a message.
This is a message.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I should have phrased it that way. Sorry.
I'll go over and look at the beepy message.
Yep. You see that there has been left a message by Sebosh.
Sebosh.
Yeah, the Sebosh, Sejosh, no, it's Sebosh. Yeah, Sebosh.
Yeah, Sebosh is the person. Hold on.
Yeah. The Lashunta.
That's the one from the Yeah, that's the Lashunta from the Verdant Sun.
And the message basically says, like, hey, hi, I would like to talk with you some more. There's something I would like to talk. It is something I think good for you and me. If we could meet in this, and it shows like the locale section in the recreational area. You just tell me what hour you would be available, or what hours. I'm also helping some of the engineering team, so I can get a bit busy.
This is a good question, Severin. When am I free if I don't start day drinking now? Because I don't technically have a job other than be on probation and fly the ship occasionally.
You have an open schedule, so you decide.
I'll send back, we can meet on your schedule. When would you prefer that we meet?
You send the message, and you wait for a couple of seconds in front of the screen, and then decide to move elsewhere in the quarters. Might take a bit before they see the message, perhaps.
Probably.
Where do you go now?
Did I have anything that I wanted to research? I actually, if I can, because our system has records and a computer system that links supposedly back to wherever home is, or at least it has some of those records. I'd like to do some research into the Verdant Sun before it was basically space pirates, because it was disavowed from.
Alright. This might be. This would be a high culture role, partly because the files inside the Dralog had not been fully fixed. So this is more of a, and this might require like a connection to stuff. Like it's gonna take you a bit, but you can do a culture check for this. The DC for this would be like a 28 for this, considering things. Just letting you know.
Alright. Oh, just barely. Alright. Yeah,
Damn.
go back!
Okay.
So barely got that.
Damn. Okay. So as you begin to check a file's information, you're like, well, maybe in one of the navies of the Pack Worlds, maybe the navy of Absalom Station, like you begin checking, and there's just the moments of like, this file is incomplete, this file is corrupted. But when you begin checking more and more, at some point you're like, Addie, do you have any records about this? And Addie's like, sure, Mac, let me check. Goes away. Let me check in, and then after some minutes, you hear, "Hey, Mac, you there? I'm back."
Yeah, hey, Eddie.
Hey, Mac. Okay, let me pass you this. I found these files about the name Verdant Sun. I got them from the computer of Grotwan and Megon. So here they are. It seems to be some historical records about it. I don't think they'll mind it if I take them. I just made a copy and brought it here.
Thank you.
No problem. Anything else I can help you with? No? Okay,
if
bye.
it's possible,
Oh,
actually,
sorry.
Addie.
I'm here. Sorry.
It's not going to correct me if I'm wrong, but we found out about the Starfinder Society previously.
What's up?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the characters found out about the Starfinder Society. Yeah? So, if I can have Addie pull some information on what that is.
Oh, the Starfinder Society.
Whether it's just general information or specifics.
Damn.
You really wanted that roll to fail.
Damn. Yeah, whatever it is. I do have in my mind what would be the modifier for Addie's intelligence. Yeah. You're asking just general information about the Starfinder Society.
Yeah,
Addie
general
just says,
information about the Starfinder Society, and I would like to look at the historical records of the Verdant Sun.
well, I do not know about the historical records. I do found this file about the Verdant Sun. I'm sending it to you. And about the Starfinder Society. It is a society established around the beginning of the space exploration era of the Pack Worlds. Headquarters are on the Absalom Station, and they are a group dedicated to the exploration of area and space outside of the Pack Worlds. They also do some exploration and first contact missions, and the exploration not only is based outside of the Pack Worlds, but also in some areas still being explored and cataloged in the Pack Worlds. And I will require another 5-minute break.
All right. So we will be right back. Stick around with us. We'll see you guys very soon.
Welcome.
There
Sorry
we
for
are.
that technical situation, but hey, we're back. Yep. Quick run about the situation about the Starfinder Society. it is basically if you know anything about Pathfinder, it's a Pathfinder society, but in the stars, and they are the equivalent of the star explorers, star rangers, the people going out into the space to explore new places, make first contact, and they are also
It's the
your sort of,
Federation.
in a way, but they're also your adventurer guild. You know, they will be like, oh, someone needs help, and someone has requested like, hey, we need an experienced crew in this to help us on this X or Y planet. And though they have their fleet, you know, the designated fleet and ships, they also have many freelancers that work along with them and are affiliated with them. That is the Starfinder Society.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
And about the Verdant Sun,
Yeah, I was about to ask. What about the files that Addie pulled on the Verdant Sun?
after Ari tells you about the Starfinder and the Society, and then it's like, oh, I'll send you the historical records, and going away. You know, which historical records I can pass it to you, but also if you just Google Starfinder Society, general information you can find it, but I'll send you some information that you would find. The Verdant Sun, the information, it says that it had been doing pirate operations for the last, basing on those records, for the last 10 years ish. They're not sure exactly when was the first when exactly it began, though it is assumed they began around the date, the last reported date that the Verdant Sun had communications with the Packworld's fleet. It was an assigned ship, originally from the Packworld's defense fleet, sort of. You know, like specifically from Absalon fleet. It was not. This fleet is not aligned directly to any planet, but it's the generalized defense fleet of the system, assigned on Absalon, and it was part of it. And it had been up in service on the last years of the Silent War with the Vescarium. It served during the time fighting the Swarm, but after that, it is said that the ship just went missing. Before, a couple of years later, reports began of it being used for pirate activities.
Do I have records of who the last captain of the Verdant Sun was when it was part of Absalon fleet?
With a 29, I would say yes. You would have that the last record of the last captain before it going MIA, well, just missing, it was Captain Ryako.
Ryako?
Mhm.
Is that my captain?
Ryako, sorry. Yeah, Ryako. The name clicks immediately in your mind.
Yeah.
It
What's
is
that?
the same individual. Rayyako.
I was like, isn't that Max Captain from before all this?
Maybe. Oh, I said maybe, but if you go to the past episodes, you'll hear me saying that
Yeah.
name.
Captain Ryako.
Mhm.
I'm taking notes too.
Like how you say, taking notes, you lift it up and then vanish into the
Notes, and then it just disappears into space.
Like us.
notes are good.
Yeah,
Hey,
pretty much.
life imitates art.
And this is a long shot on that 29. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to do better than that. Can I get as much data as I can on Captain Riako's service record?
I would say with that, no. That rule
Yeah.
was specific for the Verdant Sun.
Mhm.
Finding more on Captain Ryako, no, you're not finding much about him.
Like, I've got the historical records of the ship, like what happened to it when it was an Absalom fleet, and all of that, the wars that it fought in, but when it
It
supposedly
is scattered,
disappeared
like,
and everything.
yeah, and this is more like information from records and reports written by Kreltuan and Megan. But more detailed information with that 29 is like, you're not sure exactly when it began service, who had been the captains. This is like the latest stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do our data pads have a call function?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's multiple ways to contact someone in the ship. Both your rooms, your data pads, your internal comms. Addy, if you just want to send an ADHD virtual kit to be like, hey,
Yeah.
someone's calling you.
I'm gonna call S.
S?
Yeah.
You're getting called.
I'll pick up.
Hi S. I actually could use some help.
I'm going to need more details than just that you need help.
I'm looking into the Verdant Sun and everything, the stuff about it and everything, and there's one person who keeps coming up. His name's Captain Ryako.
A bastard, yeah.
Ah, so you know of him.
Yeah, I
was
read your
gonna say
file.
the same thing. Forgot that you did. Is there anywhere that you can get into a service record?
If anyone can get to it, it'll be me.
That's why you're the best.
I'll look, see what I can get my fingers on.
I've got Captain Ryako because he was in charge of the ship before it disappeared, when it was part of Absalom fleet.
Yeah, the thing is that because we are experiencing some trouble with Addy not being fully here and blocked from Absalom, I won't be able to get as much as I may have once upon a time, but I'll see what
You
we've
want help
got.
with that?
It's more than what... it's more of what we knew was going on. There's actual pieces missing, and if my theories prove right, your captain might be part of that. Yeah.
You know what's also interesting? Verdant means green.
Like like the dying stars?
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind, I'm sure.
Definitely. But this is all that I've been able to find, and just general information on the Starfinder Society and everything. Is there anything else you want me to look into? Since you're busy doing whatever it is that you do? And I've got a pretty much open schedule.
No. My projects are pretty secular.
Oh, in general, leading to the forgetting, anything like that? Anything Noel would like looked into?
I don't really know what, Noel once looked into. Besides, personal stuff. I don't want to talk too much of his story without him.
Alright. You need any help looking anything into?
I know.
Give me a ring.
I am aware of the system that surrounds me.
I was more saying if you need help doing read, I'm always here if you need me.
No, I'm quite aware that you meant more in a practical sense, but just letting you know that even if I'm not reaching out doesn't mean that I'm not present.
You know, so long as you don't shoot me in the foot again, I think we're fine.
As long as you don't hold me where I don't want to be, I won't shoot you in the foot. And with that, S is gonna hang up.
Establishing limits in relationships, even with friends, very important.
Establish boundaries.
Yeah,
Maintain your established boundaries.
yeah.
Mac is also gonna send a quick message to Null because Mac knows Null is probably doing work with dirt and stuff, as Mac would put it. With hey, I've been doing research into things that have been happening with us, because I'm stuck in free time, basically. Anything you want me to look into? It'll stay between us if you want. I'm sorry, Mr. Mew, I can't look into that for you.
I like that. Just
Ah!
Oh no.
You just hear a screech into the.
Lucar, what have you done?
Luke, why no?
I might have
scream
some.
at the fish.
Null is going to text back like 45 minutes later,
Yeah, that's Mac is figuring snap.
which is what I do. If you have any way to look into past missions that the ship has gone on, I'm looking for anything about significant cultural sites we visited. Perhaps of a religious sort. There's a separate text. Or something.
Religious or something. Okay.
Nothing else. No thank you.
We expect nothing less of Null.
You do that text back almost immediately that's like, if I find something, we could talk about it over coffee sometime? You like coffee, right?
Message read. No response.
Yeah, no response.
Quick thing, because I am
Professionals.
looking at our time.
Mhm.
With our next session, would we be continuing on the same day, or are we doing like a little bit of a time skip? Because if the second, I would say that S does return to Noel's room.
He probably gets there before Null does.
That's not an issue.
I know.
If something if you guys need to, want to take some care of something on that same day, it can happen. Mac will receive response eventually from Sevash. It's just gonna be a bit later on that day, and probably the meal would be the next day, but still would be like, hey, like at this hour.
I'm gonna write that down.
But yeah, with that, we're gonna leave tonight's episode. And well, some things have been moved forward, and some slight revelations have been done. Possibly some projects will give some fruit out of this. Give fruit.
Square melons.
Hey.
Square melons with necromancy infusion in there, maybe. Who knows?
I don't want to think about that.
Maybe it will be melons that once you eat them, they'll just regenerate inside of you.
Oh.
Make a bed,
Ugh.
dead person
No.
melons.
Well,
That's somebody's
Green
something.
juice.
It's like that thing that family would say, like, "Hey, don't eat the seeds of
Don't
the
eat the seeds
fruits
that grow
because
inside you.
yeah, but maybe the seeds actually will grow inside you. Oh, but yes, no. As we're ending out our episode tonight, I do just want to say, if you want to catch more of us on our live streams, follow us here on Twitch. If you want to jump in one of our games, you can join our Discord. That's also where you'll find all of our announcements and keep up to date with what we're doing. And then our VODs are over on YouTube if you want to catch up with the story. This one, we've got others. They're all there. But thank you all for viewing. We'll see you in our next session. Laters.
Bye.
Bye.